It's Tuesday, December 26th, the day after Christmas, out here at the Desert Marksman range out here in Palmdale to do a little bit of testing, confirming some data with the 6.5 Creedmoor in preparation for NRL Hunter. So I set up 4 steel targets. There's already a couple gentlemen here already shooting, so they let me put up my targets. And so I got those set up, but we're gonna go ahead and unpack, get my rifles out, and we'll start shooting. Brought 2 guns, of course, the 6.5 Creedmoor, the MDT HNT26 with the Defiance Anti, which is my NRL Hunter gun, or will be. And I brought out my 6 Creedmoor, which hasn't seen the light of day in quite some time, but I've got plenty of ammo loaded for that, so I figure I'll bring that out here to shoot since I'm coming out to Palmdale. But let's go ahead and get set up. I've been out here for a couple hours. It is a little chilly out here. It's only 49 degrees, but there's a little bit of a breeze here. And so I've been just verifying my data with the 6.5 Creedmoor. I did come up 1/10 of a mil on my zero. And I was testing the ballistics data coming out of the Swarovski versus the Kestrel. And in the current conditions, because the Swarovski EL Range TA has a built-in weather sensor, and compared to the Kestrel, based on the data, I put the ballistic coefficient in here, same velocities. This reads about 1/10 of a mil lower than the Kestrel all the time. And after my zero change, or the zero shift, you know, adjusting for that because my 100-yard zero is a little bit off by 1/10 of a mil low, the Swarovski EL Range TA ballistic data is actually dead on. So I'm gonna probably sit here for a little bit and try to true up the data so the Kestrel is matching what's going on there. And generally speaking, out to 600 yards, most people will say adjust your velocity, true your velocity, not true the ballistic coefficient on the ballistic calculator, because that's going to be a little bit more accurate, so to speak, at these distances as far as that curve. I'll mess around with that, but it sounds like I'm going to be able to rely on this quite a bit as far as just going off of my rangefinder immediately, getting my data. Like if I get behind the binos and I range that to be, what is that, 590? No, that's 592, 356. So that's going to come out 592, 396. Kestrel says it's 367. So what did I say? 596. Sorry, I'm losing track of what I'm saying here. So my 356 compared to 367. So it's a good 1/10 of a mil lower. So if I were to adjust this right now, because I'm claiming a what am I claiming on here? Again, messing around with velocities here. I only put 2680 here for my velocity. So if I speed it up here, 2700, that gets up to 360. If I speed up the ballistic velocity even more, we're talking 2710. That gets me up to 357. So kind of messing around with that. I might be able to get them to line up accurately. So let's say 2712, 356. Okay, so 356, 2712. Now if I come back down here and we'll look at my 400-yard target, which is 396, 184. So 1.84 for 396. 396 on the Kestrel will be, sorry, it's a little harder to navigate. 396 on the Kestrel will be 184, which is what did I say earlier? 396, 184, so that matches up. I think there's 0.4 mil worth of wind out there, which is amazing. I wonder what that comes out to. 0.4 mil. What did I say that? It's 595 roughly? 592, 595, I don't know. Oh, it's only a 4 mile an hour wind. It's about 0.4. Yeah, 4 mile an hour wind. Okay. If you're new to the range vlog, you probably haven't seen this gun. This is my American Rifle Company Mausingfield. This is like the Gen 1. It's in 6mm Creedmoor. It's got a 24-inch Bartling barrel and it sits in an MPA BA comp chassis. Arc rings, M10s, trigger tech. No, sorry, this is a Huber two-stage trigger. Sorry, Huber two-stage trigger. And then the Collis K525i Skimmer 3, which I really like. Ever since like the Zico, I mean, I was all about this zero compromise, but in all honesty, I do like the Collis, and a lot of people like to crap on the Collis for some odd reason. There's a lot of claims like, hey, the depth of field isn't that great. CA, chromatic aberration, but I don't really notice it too much, other than white targets in early morning bright sunlight. But overall, I think this is a great scope. I think the only issue at hand is that the Collis is bought at the same price as Zico now, and so most people will just go to zero compromise. I think this is a fine scope. If they had priced this down under 3,000, I think this would just be probably the best scope in that price range. But I don't know, I really like this scope. I think it's pretty good. I just don't use it much because I don't shoot this rifle that much. I built this 6 Creedmoor 4 or 5 years ago, or had it built rather. And I just don't shoot PRS or anything like that, so I just never really use it. But it's nice to have a good 6mm rifle that is highly accurate, and this gun shoots. My gunsmith, who's also the RO at my range, or un-RO at my range, he built this for me. He cut the barrel for me. He did a great job, and it shoots incredibly well. And I shoot Burger 105s out of this thing. I believe I'm shooting 41 grains of 4350 right now, and today's load I'm using Peterson brass. So let's just shoot this for fun, and I'm shooting with my binaural harness on just to get practice with shooting from prone with the binaural harness, because your chest is going to be off the ground a little bit more. So just want to shoot prone, kind of in that, so I'm not really like, when I go to the NRL Hunter matches, I'm not like trying to struggle with it because I don't know how it feels. So trying to get some time shooting prone with the binaural harness on, just to you know, get an understanding of how it feels when I shoot off of it. I'm all packed up, about to get out of here, but I scooted over to the recreational area of the Desert Marksman Range facility to record this outro. There's a couple guys still on the main line. I think there's a couple of people in the tack bay shooting pistol. But as far as today's range session goes, I got what I needed to get done as far as getting my ballistics data kind of in line with each other. So I found that my Swarovski EL Range TA, the internal calculator on that, appears to be pretty good. And so I am going to line up my Kestrel to that. I've adjusted my trajectory based on the velocity, so I've adjusted it up. I think I skewed it about 15 feet per second faster than the Kestrel to match up the trajectory of the Swarovski, which is dead on. So we're pretty good out to 600. I'm hoping that holds to like 1,000. I don't have a way to test 1,000 without going out to the desert, and I'm not about to do that, to be honest, before the match. So we'll just go on faith. And as far as my 6 Creedmoor, that gun shoots. It's a hammer, although I'm surprised that the velocities were that high. 3130, roughly 3140 feet per second when I thought it was 3075. So I'm not entirely sure why that's so fast. Speed is good for 6mm though. I mean, that's going to get you nice wind bucking as far as longer ranges, but I'm going to burn out the barrel. But I mean, 6 is a barrel burner anyway. I've been doing a poor job counting the rounds on that gun. I don't even know what I've got in it. Maybe 600 rounds, 700 rounds, to be honest. But when it falls off, then I'll know I have to rebarrel. And I'm not entirely sure I'll stick with 6 Creedmoor. I may try 6 GT, or I might try one of the 6 BR variants. I don't know, to be honest. And I don't shoot much of this gun, like 6. I don't shoot PRS or anything like that. So there's no real incentive for me to really kind of chase that as far as really thinking too hard about it. Just pick a cartridge and shoot it until it dies and then rebarrel. So I may just stick with 6 Creedmoor since I have the dies and I've got plenty of brass, so why bother switching to a new cartridge if I'm not even going to compete with it. It'd just be for fun. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to get out of here. I'm hungry. I don't know if you heard my stomach growling on the mic, but I'm going to get something to eat and then on the way home, and I will go out to the range hopefully tomorrow to do a run through of the January 2024 NRL 22 Course of Fire, which got published yesterday. So I'll try to run through that tomorrow, try to get to the range, because I don't really have time at the end of the week to get to the range before New Year's. So anyway, that's it for today, December 26th here at the Desert Marksman Range in Palmdale. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog.